Oh, I was just recording then and it didn't take it. So what we've got is the stream that passes through the bottom of Dorada, but all these low level dwellings, right? There's black water. It's a black water stream. No, it's not a stream, it's just a sewage. I imagine there's water, clean water coming into it from some point. I also imagine a lot of these houses are just dropping into it. So all of the water near the main road, near the river, a few hundred meters down there, is underneath the path there. It's really low. So that's how it was naturally, and then when the river floods up, as I said in the last video, if it recorded, not sure, when the river flooded up, all this area would have been like marshland. So it's a real issue. It's a big public health issue. The pump's not working. This is what we do as humans. This is what I see in the permaculture videos. They say man creates a problem, a big problem. In this case, I think they tried to block the river off from flooding the bottom part of Dorada, rather than building up the houses, pulling in land, building up the houses, making them high enough in this area, these low level areas, that if when the river floods, it doesn't affect the housing. One idea. And allowing the nature to continue doing its thing down here. What I would do in King Paul's world, I get the government, I'd offer everybody a sweet deal with all the housing along the worst bottom part of it, and I'd knock it all down, get them a nice house built up around, one of the new builds around Dorada, and then get all of the concrete out and plant it up with really good reeds, that keep everything clean. You see, they're all around naturally. The nature tells you what wants to grow. The long grasses down there, the reedy grasses, the big long grasses, because it catches all the water from the hill there. And the road comes down that big hill that was on the last video all the way over there. It's a marshland area. You can't be building like urban developments on marshland unless you really plan it well. Manchester was built on marshland. I've seen pictures just like as the Industrial Revolution, like a couple of 100 years ago, it's still a lot of green. Same, it's all drained, and there has to be planning. Obviously in Colombia that didn't happen because the municipalities were not able to to manage with the way that we build traditionally. This is where the new housing plans come in, and we use the material under our feet, where we like grow the house in a way, just like the Calais houses. You kind of grow out of the ground, because you dig up the ground, fill up the earth bags and build the house, dig out your tanks, use the water, use the earth from your tanks you dig out, get your fish in your tanks. And it's like with the people, it's free housing, almost free housing. If you've got like a group of 30 people, families, and you say, right, there's your land, there's all your materials, there's the camp, right? We set up the army camps, right? And you got your tents, comfy living, and everybody builds everybody's houses. And you've got a group of 30 families that know each other, possibly, if they're from different areas. They're not a community that's been displaced, and everyone builds the house. So now you've got a firm community that's bonded through the process of creating shelter for each other. Can have all the names in a hat or whatever. The first house you could build, 2 big houses, one for the women, one for the men. So you got our own space. Like traditional village tribal living structure, and a lot of communities would have that. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hey fellas, hey ladies. So then you got 30 family houses built. Didn't cost the government any money, only the materials. They didn't cost more than $3,000 to $5,000 per house. That's like the cap. Obviously could be a bit more, could be needed, could be big families need bigger houses. It's going to be a bit more, a couple of $1,000s more, but compared to the cost of the social housing in Colombia, which I looked at yesterday, only first time, what it's costing the government and where the money's going as well, it's a win-win. You're just in a win-win situation. There's going to be a few noses put out of joint that have managed to control the construction market, the land market, the mortgage market, but that's going away anyway. Obviously, every attempt is being made by the corporation stroke state, wherever it is, from China to India to less so there, it would seem, but still, you know, they have more of a checks and balance system in India. They've got more unity. Same system, isn't it? They managed to create this system of eternal debt, slavery, and it's around the land. It's around private ownership. It's like, who said who owned what first? No, the land was always taken. It's like, I'll have this area to live on. It's like, yeah, I'll live here now, and then you die and it's gone, and someone else might live there, so, or not. It's all very temporary, isn't it, in the grand scheme of things? This whole, you know, they build the big, like, obelisks, you know, they come in, they built all the Parliament Square around Bogota. It's like, we're here now, this is it. And look, oh, we'll take you over there, chiefs, and you'll see the same there. Because we create it, this is our gig, yeah? And they did. And they do. I heard, when I was in New Zealand, Aotearoa, I was told on good standing many things about the British history. And the Maori, in the context of the Maoris. And what happened was, they were getting beaten. The British were getting beaten by the Maoris. Every time they sent a boat down there, they were just getting slaughtered. It was costing millions and millions. First, only for the missions to get down there. They get off the boat, they get drawn into an area, they've got no idea where they're at. And then they just get like slack, you know, get beaten, and go back home possibly. I don't know what they did. That doesn't matter. The point is, they invited the main chiefs from the islands, North and South Island, to London, and they knew it battered their heads. It's true, because it did. Because when they took them to London, they took them up the River Thames to go and meet Queenie, probably Victoria at that time, could have been Victoria. And they're just like, oh my God, you know, going from village life there to like industrial society, London in the late 1800s, I believe it was, like, you know, like around the 1870s possibly, if my memory serves me right. But whenever, you know, it was around then, they went like, oh my God, look at them, the rats, billions of them. Billions and billions of people, they're just going to keep coming like rats, like waves, they're never going to stop. Look at all the industry, you know, like. So what they did was, they parlayed, and that's why they were taken there, because the British were smart, Germans were smart, they knew that, you know, Saxonburg, the House of Saxonburg, they knew that by doing that, it would have that effect, and it did. So they did a deal. They got the best deal in the world for any nation that you know, that had genocide and theft of their land inflicted upon them. The best bloody deal. They said if it wasn't the English, the Yanks would have been next, because they had their eye on there as well, you know. So it was going to happen, and it was. So they cut a deal. So they've got. Still recording. They've got like the best, like land rights and fishing rights, you know, like resources, forests, and they said, you can have that and we'll have this, and the Crown said, yeah, all right, sounds good. Yeah, I'll leave it there for the moment, and I'll keep walking around, and I'll just say this, that I've just received from a court in Colombia, like, and yesterday, more or less the same. It's been an interesting 24 hours. That my complaint about the opposing party's legal representation, El Gatico, Juan Carlos Rodriguez Leon, El Gatico, as I call him. Hey Juan, be seeing you in a few days, mate. Why did I flip there? Bloody tangent again. So the court said basically that you're not being precise in your complaints about this lawyer, and that therefore, like, I've closed the case and you can't appeal. It's like, fine. It's like El Gatico's going where El Gatico's going. He doesn't, you know, and I've got my own personal thoughts, which I won't disclose publicly, about what is actually happening, not what seems to be happening, as far as the direction that El Gatico is going in, and that it's perfect that they've dropped the case as a case, because it's right for a much higher court, actually. Problem is, in my filings, is that it was like very like dispersed, like it wasn't precise. Although I could argue about it, but it doesn't matter. It's all in process. I know it's in process, so it's a positive. It's a seeming negative, but it's actually a big positive. I know what's really happening. So, but what seems to be happening the test of time will show whether my intuition and what my personal thoughts are correct. I won't share them now, because the issues I've got with him are like several. It's very difficult to pin it down, because of the just total abuse that involves him with other people as well. And it's like, yeah, most human problems are complex. Like when human problems are complex, they're bloody complex, but the solutions are often really simple. Like in that lawyer's case, simply disbarring for life, can never work as a lawyer again, and like let him get on with his life, find another job that doesn't involve harming children, because he's not allowed to work with children again either, anything to do with kids or vulnerables. No, there's a simple solution to the problem. There's a presidential request to the presidential office, please disbar through the legal process, get him through the bar association. Study what he said to me in the last court hearing with Judge Paula Lorena Alzate Gil, when he threatened me, and he basically said, we will punish you. Who's here, a lawyer, to punish me? No, everything that he throws at me is going back to him times 100, like 100 lashes. You can feel it, mate. You can feel it, because you can't, on video as well though, that's at the judge's discretion as well. It's my bone of contention with these hearings, these virtual hearings. It seems like the judge has got carte blanche power, whatever she wants. She can just press a button and you're not getting, well, definitely you're not getting invited to the audience. It happened in La Dorada court here twice with my translator, and it happened with my mother in the session in the Victoria court, which they're assuming they're going to try and rinse me of everything that, you know, is left to take. My sanity, you can't have that, despite the rumours I'm saying. Distressed, but saying. The court's just like, oh, you're not coming into the audience. And then yesterday I get told, oh, it's up to you to invite your own witnesses. But then it's just all crazy, isn't it? It's all crazy. Yeah, disbar El Gatico, or put him in prison for a few months with the El Gato por real, the real El Gato. In Colombia, they include the nicknames of the people that have been convicted for the crimes. There's If you do a Google search, put in El Gato, right, it comes up. You get the PDF of a guy that was locked up, was doing a lot of years, murdered a lot of people. So when I was looking for Juan Carlos Rodriguez Leon, looking for a photo, that came up, and I thought, well, that's about right, because he's a little cat, he's a little pussy cat, sharp claws, but you're just a little pussy cat. I'm a lion, mate. Eat you alive. I'll meet you in court on the 29th, and we'll see. This time the judge will not be able to say, no, you can't represent yourself, which meant I wasn't represented in the court legally. There you go, judge. There's another note for you. I've not even thought about that. You said that I'm not allowed to ask questions to the opposing side, to the lawyer, right? And with having no lawyer, which was down to you, specifically down to you, that I had no lawyer, and you only give me 1 day's legal notice to attend the court as well, that actually the whole hearing was illegitimate. Legally I wasn't even there, because if the party isn't represented, even if they're there online, they're not being represented, are they? They're not there legally, they're not being represented, which means the legal fiction which I appeared as anyway, like the capitals and all that stuff, like, you know, the paul.Thomas exile, the legal fiction that you presume me to be rather than the living man, wasn't even attending. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. Plus the man you appointed as the translator, he attempted to advise me and give me legal advice rather than just translating what you said. So I don't even know what you were saying to me on the day, Judge Paula Lorena Alzate Hill. So let's see. I mean, you want to see me again on the 29th, going to be there in your court with my cameras, and I'll be publicising everything that you say, and we'll see if the proposal goes through where we actually get to use this new technology, this thermal imaging face scan, to see if you're lying or not. That also will be very interesting when I am able to represent myself legally, and I am able to ask you questions directly about your personal behaviour, which I feel is vexatious, I feel is threatening, and I feel is aggressive. The three words that were used by my own embassy about my own behaviour. They feel I'm vexatious to their spirit, that they feel threatened because I'm threatening, and that I'm aggressive as well. So they're right in tune with you, and all of the functionarios that labelled me as the hostile foreigner. George Hodgkinson, sir, you're the ambassador for Colombia. You've got the video online, like, going about what a grand opportunity it is for Colombia, this project that ties in with the whole land acquisition, you know, like where there's like international basically regulations put in over Colombian territory. Get that? Because the last Mercedes project, the AI for Peace project, is linked to the last Mercedes project as two fingers on one hand. They link with each other totally, and I do believe that they're under fiscal review. Now, while my son is being held captive by the person that started that project with Emmerich Weissenberger, Los Heisa Cartagena Ruiz, who is currently holding my son, so I didn't find out about your projects, Emmerich. And my own government, which I'm sure you thought was hilarious with your whole, like mental makeup that you've got. That my own government, my British government, my family's money, taxpayers' money. Disturbing the dogs, I'm getting irate. Look at my face, man, veins popping out. This is the bit in the video where they all start saying, see, he's threatening, he's aggressive, he's angry. Bobby, come on. So let me calm down, get into the green a bit. It smells bad, but it's a bit of nature. So cracked drains down there. Let me go up here on the hill. I'll stop this video now.